welcome back to Furniture Flipping Teacher. I'm Lauren, and in this video we are going to be quickly making over this bedroom set. Why did I specify quickly? Well, that's because these three pieces of furniture don't really have that much damage at all. They just need a little bit of a color refresh. These have actually been claimed by some people from my inventory, so I'm super excited to get to work on them. First things first, we're gonna remove the hardware. So like I said, quick refresh, which means I'm actually keeping the hardware, and we are just going to unscrew it and clean it. And when everything is painted, we'll just reinstall this same hardware, which actually, it's not bad hardware. It's really nice looking. And it's like, let's see if I can do this. It's like a kind of a bronze color, like a oil rubbed bronze color. So we're gonna keep that like it is. Just a little tip, if you are keeping your hardware, always put it in a little container so that you don't lose it, and you can put it back on at the end. Okay. Everything is clean. So I'm gonna grab out my sander, and we are gonna scuff sand with like a medium grit, which is around like a 220 grit. And what we're doing is we're making sure that the surface is no longer slick, because we want the primer to be able to adhere to the surface. So the sandpaper is just gonna really roughen it up a little bit, and also get rid of or like smooth out any blemishes or scratches and things like that. Wanted to show you up close. I've got my Surf Prep sander. It's got a foam abrasive. This one is the one that's a little bit more dense. So it's still foam, so it's still soft, but it's not gonna maneuver and manipulate and contour to the edges as much as the less dense ones do. But the reason I wanna use this is because I'm not really looking to take the finish off of this piece, but again, just looking to roughen it up. And so I just wanna go nice and light on the scuff sand. I'm gonna do it on all of the flat areas, and then I'll get one of those a little bit less dense pads to go around the curved and beveled edges on the drawers, so that we're not compromising the look and feel of that shape around the drawers. I just made more work for myself. Remember how I said there wasn't any damage to fill? Well, now there is, because when I put that nightstand up on the top of this dresser, I scooted it along the top and it had like screws at the back when I thought the back was flat and I didn't check. So now there's huge gouges in the top of the dresser that I am going to fill so that I don't have huge gouges in the top of my dresser when I paint it. That was just silly. I just definitely made more work for myself, but I gotta roll with the punches sometimes, I guess. I am using this stuff. It's called JB Weld Wood Restore Repair Putty. It's really the exact same thing as Bondo. It smells the exact same as Bondo. And then I'm just going to grab a little bit out. And again, it's like that 2-part, I feel like that's a lot. It's like that 2-part epoxy. So it's just got a cream hardener, and I will mix that with it. And then we will apply that on these gouges. You kind of got to work quick with this stuff because it does harden quickly. The work time is very short once you mix it together. All right, now that has to dry or harden, and I'm going to continue scuff sanding the drawers and the sides of this big guy, and hopefully not make any more work for myself. Okay, now that everything is sanded down and I wiped all the dust back, I am going to take some painter's tape and just go along the edges of the drawers right here. And then I'm gonna spray with the drawers in, but this will at least make sure that none of the paint gets down in on the sides of the drawers. So I'm gonna do that on all the drawers, nightstands, and dresser, and then we'll move to the spray booth. What I like to do when I've got like 3 pieces and they won't all necessarily fit in the spray booth is, especially if there's smaller nightstands, I'll go ahead and place them on these furniture movers. That way I can wheel them out even if they're wet, and then I can bring the bigger piece in. Or if you've got like a tall boy and a long one, you could also put it on something like this. That way you don't have to like be touching it and lifting it when they're wet, but you can continue on spraying the primer on all of the pieces that you've got. Synthetic shellac primer. So it's water-based, but it's gonna act a lot like the regular bin shellacked oil-based primer or shellac-based, but it's synthetic-based, which means I can put it in my sprayer and it'll be simple to clean out. And it acts as it. So it will do stain blocking as well as bonding. So we're gonna get my sprayer loaded up here. I have found, at least for the time being, that this primer is actually cheaper than the original bin shellac-based primer. It's time to paint. So I got the primer on, it's dry, and I have mixed up 2 colors. I mixed up Ironstone from Lily Moon Paint, and I mixed up Ivory Coast. So it's a 50-50 ratio. I dumped them into this little bucket here. So we've got a really nice tan mixture. The Ironstone is kind of like a grayish color, And then the Ivory Coast is like an ivory color, if you will. So I'm excited about this color. I have done this on one other piece, and the clients that claimed this set had seen that piece, but they wanted it to be on a set of furniture. And so that's why they wanted me to do this color, because they've seen it in person and really liked it. So as always, I am going to strain my paint because we don't want to get any type of debris in there. And I'm just going to go ahead and pour as much as will go inside of this container so that we have enough paint to spray over all 3 pieces. Now we will go ahead and get this bad boy hooked up and spray on our first coat of paint. Ready for coat number 2 now. So this paint is super great to spray because it's very self-leveling. So like I don't even have to sand between coats. You can to get an even smoother finish, but I'm not going to, because honestly it's so smooth and we're inside, so there's not like dust and debris really landing on the top of it. So we're gonna go with coat number 2. Same thing as coat number 1, just get a full coverage coat on there, and then we'll let that dry. Second coat is on. It's dry. It looks really good. It's flawless finish, loving it. So there's one thing there's a catch with spraying with the drawers in. It really saves on prep time, but then after you're done spraying, you have to just go around and make sure that the paint has gotten full coverage around each and every one of the drawers. Sometimes there's a little space where maybe the sprayer didn't quite reach, and so what I like to do is just take an artist brush and a little bit of paint and then just brush it on. You could honestly do this before or after you spray your furniture. Some people like to do it before, but it's totally up to you. I am super excited because Zebra sent me over their new artist brush set that I am going to be using on this piece and so many more pieces in the future. So this comes with 5 brushes, and instead of using like those cheap ones that I've been getting at Walmart, I am so glad that Zebra finally decided to come out with their own brushes, because Zebra brushes are just such high quality that I can't even imagine the quality and the precision that these artist brushes are gonna have, just because of how much I love their regular brushes. So I'm gonna take the angled one here. This is gonna really just help me get right into the edges of these drawers, and then we will be all good. This is a 1/2 inch angled brush. I'll link down below and you can get a discount on all Zebra brushes and tools. right, this set is complete. I'm so happy with the way that it turned out. I think that just that little refresh of color sometimes is all a set of furniture needs. This isn't like an old set really. I think it was probably made in the early 2000s or the 2010s, but that reddish wood color just really isn't in style very much anymore. And so I'm so glad that my clients just wanted to kind of brighten it up, and they're so excited to have a bedroom set. It's been a while since they moved into their new house that they don't have a set, so this is gonna look perfect in their bedroom now. And this was a great way to save some cost by reusing the hardware that was original to the set. There was nothing wrong with it. It kind of pops on this new color, and I think that it looks fantastic. Now the favorite part, profit. We're gonna talk about the numbers. So I ended up selling this entire set for $700, which is kind of on the lower end. We were actually running a sale on the day that the people came in and claimed this set. They were actually coming in to claim a different set, but right at the same time, someone else had already claimed the set that they wanted, so they ended up customizing this set, which I thought was like perfect timing. And honestly, they were super excited to be able to customize something to exactly the way that they wanted it to be. So $700 for a 3-piece set, and I bought it for $150. So after spending around $70 to $75 in paint and primer materials, and of course, since I didn't have to replace the hardware, we saved on that cost. So we're in around $225 for that. So that gives us a total profit of $475. And it really didn't take me too long. I believe this set took me around 6 to 8 hours between prepping for paint and then priming and painting a couple of coats of paint. I told you guys this was gonna be a quick one, and it really was that. I did kind of get into a few gouges that I made myself, so I had to fix those, which added on just a little bit of time. But overall, this was a really quick flip and such a fun one for me to get to see this transformation. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. We'll see you on the flip side.